Right, there's loads and loads of stuff lately on my newsfeed about people having panic attacks, and I know it's happened to a few of my friends as well, quite recently. So I thought I wanted to talk about that today and give you some, afterwards in the comments I'll post some links for affirmations, which I'm going to discuss, and for the other things that can help. I'll post links for their YouTube clips, and if anyone's got any questions, can you just ask below and I'll answer them. So panic attacks totally fucking suck. Like, I know, because I used to have them. Like, the first one's probably the worst because it just sets the tone, doesn't it? I had to move banks at one point because I'd once had a panic attack in Yorkshire Bank, and I was about 16 or something, and I literally did not, I thought I was going to die. I was just adamant I was going to die. That's it, I'm dying, I'm going to die right here in Yorkshire Bank for absolutely no apparent reason. I don't even know what I brought it on. I have no idea, but it was literally, I get it, it was the worst, horriblest thing ever. And after that, because I used to panic about it, because it's that loss of control and thinking, am I going to die? It's going to be embarrassing. It's just the worst feeling ever. And after that, I kind of literally every time I went in Yorkshire Bank, I would have a panic attack. So I just then didn't go out of Yorkshire Bank anymore. But then it generalised to all Yorkshire Banks. So then I couldn't fucking go to any Yorkshire Bank, and I had to move to Barclays. But the point is, this was before I'd sort of started learning about the law of attraction, and before I had worked with clients, and before I'd seen this like time and time again. And from a psychology perspective, it's actually quite, panic attacks and anxiety disorder are actually one of the easy, well, panic attacks are one of the easiest things to deal with on the scale of like mental health issues. It's because it's an interpretation of our bodily symptoms and we're attaching a meaning to it. So what happens is, something will trigger your fear response, or something will happen, you'll think something, or something will have happened, and automatically you start freaking out. The fear response is inbuilt, it's natural, you can't not have it. It's like if you were walking down a path on a night and you heard footsteps and it was dark, you would naturally kind of panic a little bit, and your heart rate would go up, you would feel a bit lightheaded. It's fight or flight. But it's actually the same feeling. Having a panic attack is the exact same bodily response in psychological terms as excitement is. If you actually think about how you feel when you're really, really, really excited about something, like when it's Christmas morning, or if someone's telling you that you've won the lottery, it's the same feeling. Your heart rate increases, you feel a bit lightheaded. It's the exact same, but what the difference is how our brain then interprets it. So on Christmas morning, you know that you're excited, so you don't suddenly start thinking, shit, I'm going to die. But when it happens in the bank, or when it happens in Tesco's, or when it happens at the theatre, I don't go to the theatre, you then, your brain interprets it in a different manner. So there's several things that I've used and that clients have used, and bearing in mind, every single client, 80% of clients that I've dealt with over the last year have all reported to have anxiety problems. A lot of them panic attacks quite often, and I can't even remember any of them speaking about them lately. No, I think after the first week, they don't even my clients don't identify with having that, and so that's why I like to look back over notes to see who said that was an issue. So, first, one of the main things is to understand that it's a body response, that it's a trigger that you cannot stop your body doing them things. Your body's going to do it. So when that happens, the trick is to then interpret it in a different way. Our brain's that kind of powerful that when they do trials for drugs, they give them to like a placebo. They give a group a placebo drug to see if the side effects, to see kind of how much it works. And the placebo group generally report the exact same sort of gains as the actual group that are given medication. Your brain's that powerful, it's amazing. So what people that have panic attacks tend to talk about it quite a lot. They tend to avoid places where they have panic attacks. And the more we kind of avoid our fears, the more power it gives them, it sort of feeds them. And then I've known clients that used to stay in the house, they wouldn't even leave the house for fear that they would have a panic attack. But the more that you do that and the more you avoid them places, the worse it actually gets. So and the more that we're thinking about it, the more that we think that we're going to have it, and the more that we think it's going to happen, the more thoughts we draw to us, and the more we are kind of making it happen. And a proper study of the law of attraction would really, really come in handy for anyone that wants to look into it further. The tips that I'm going to give about affirmations and stuff, they're kind of putting a plaster on like a big wound. It will help, it'll stop panic attacks, but in order to get a full effect and in order to really kind of combat your whole life and all mental health, it sort of would be a full understanding of the law of attraction and then incorporating that into your day. So I would always start, it's how you wake up in the morning as well. That is the main thing. That is how you start the day. If you're starting the day and if you know that you've got something coming up that you're going to start panicking, that you might have a panic attack, what you generally find that you'll do is you'll wake up in the morning and you'll just immediately start worrying about it. You'll literally, before you've even got out the door, you'll be in a state of panic because you'll have thought about it over and over again. You'll run over the scenario in your head thinking, I'm going to go there and I'm going to probably have a panic attack and then people are going to look at me and what if this happens? You've riled yourself up to the point where it's pretty likely that you're going to have a panic attack even if you weren't going to. I liken it to the thoughts that we tell ourselves, that incessant negative self-talk that is winding you up. Remember, it's a bodily thing. Our brain can either interpret it as excitement or can interpret it as something dire is going to happen. It's how we choose to think about it, and we do choose our own thoughts. So wake up in the morning and instead of worrying straight away and instead of panicking, oh that's right, I forget my train of thought, like fish, like a dory. What I say it's like is, negative self-talk is like if you had the most confident child in the world, say a 10-year-old child. That child was just amazing, had lots of friends, was confident, did well at school, was just fab. And you brought down everything in your head that you say to yourself every single day. Especially in regards to panic attacks, be things along the lines of, you're going to have a panic attack, you're probably going to die, bad things are going to happen. If you wrote all that down and then followed a 10-year-old child around and saying that to them repeatedly throughout the day, everybody's looking at you, everyone's looking at you, you're going to have a panic attack soon, probably going to have a panic attack, you might die, your heart's racing. How long would it take that 10-year-old, that normal, well-adjusted 10-year-old, to become like a nervous wreck? It would take about a day, and you just totally traumatise the child. That's what we're doing to ourselves, and that's what you're doing to yourself, especially when you're worried about something, you're worried that you're going to have a panic attack at some point. That's what you're doing from the beginning of the morning. So, wake up in the morning with affirmations that are really, really important. That's what I get my clients to start with every single day. Negative self-talk, I won't really go into this too massive detail, but your self-talk programs your subconscious, and your subconscious then seeks evidence to back it up. So what affirmations do is, first you break the negative repetitive cycle of your negative crappy chatter, telling yourself that something dire is going to happen, that you're rubbish, that the world's a horrible place. Affirmations, I'm going to post a link on affirmations, but affirmations are positive statements said in the here and now as if they already exist. So for instance, a one for anxiety and panic attacks would be, I feel calm all of the time, I can deal with any situation, I am happy and confident and well adjusted. There's so many things that you can say. It's about picking one that resonates with you really. But if you start the day off writing one of them down, or 2 or 3, I always advise 3 from different areas of your life. But if you're dealing with anxiety per se, just maybe 1 or 2 on that. So it would be an opposite statement to how you feel. So if you felt like you're going to lose control, it would be, I feel fully in control of my own thoughts and feelings at all times. And you would repeat that to yourself over and over again. You can do positive visualizations where you, if you know what place you're going to have them in, or what place you normally have the panic attack in, an affirmation and a visualization technique would be where you imagine yourself in that place and everything's brilliant and you're confident and you feel amazing. I'll send you some links on visualization as well. Meditation is a brilliant one for every problem. It kind of quietens the chatter And then there's things that you can do when you're actually having a panic attack. So if you're in the supermarket and all of a sudden you don't know why, but it comes out of nowhere, and you start getting that heart feeling, and you start thinking, fuck, it's going to happen again. There's a technique called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. So as soon as that happens, as soon as you feel your body, you basically say to you out loud or in your head, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then the second that you've done that, you then say to yourself, say it's you're scared of flying. You've done all your affirmations, so you were fine, you're on the aeroplane, everything's hunky-dory, but then something triggers it. And it's triggered it, and so your body started. Now you get to then pick how you're going to then interpret it. So you do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is basically telling your brain that it needs to stop and listen, and you're taking control back. And then, because panic attacks are the exact same sensations as excitement, you need to then trick your brain into thinking that it's excited. So after you've said 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, repeat yourself over and over again. I'm so excited to get on this holiday. I'm so excited to get on this holiday. I'm really excited about this holiday. And then what you're basically doing is tricking yourself into thinking, oh, that's what that heart rate thing is. It's just she's excited. She's excited. That's fine. We like excited, and it really, really does work. It makes you identify with it being excitement rather than panic, and it immediately sort of chills you out a little bit. So yeah, I went on for 12 minutes now, so I'm going to stop. Anyone's got any questions, like I said, post below. I'm going to post links on affirmations in regards to panic attacks. I'm going to post visualization stuff in regards to panic attacks, and I would also advise everybody to do some law of attraction things. It literally can help with everything. I was the biggest skitsy person in the entire world. I wouldn't even drive on motorways because I was used to panic. And now I'm like, oh, fine. Not places I don't know, but that's a different story altogether. So anyway, yeah, thank you for listening, and see you soon. Bye.